you doing today? Today we were reading the Florida Council of Independent College, Florida Council of the Independent Schools Standard for Accreditation, effective date July 1st, 2017. Schools are expected to be compliant with every standard for each of the indicator of the event of the school is out compliance with the standard of the indicator. The school must justify the non-compliance within the self-study to the visiting team. Our standard: the school is clearly a mission. The school is clearly articulated with the mission statement of the educational philosophy of the guide for the operation. The mission statement is approved by the governing body, reviewed regularly, communicated with all the school constitutions. Indicated that the school meets standard 1.1. The mission statement of the educational philosophy are visible to understand all the constituencies of the school community. The mission of educational philosophy inform the decision making of the program development at the school. 1.3. The school periodically reviews the mission statement of the assessment of the balance of the current school operation. There is a process of the place that the governors make the change of the mission statement. 1.4. The faculty staff implement the mission to educational philosophy values of the school. Alright, governance. Standard 2. The board of the governing body effective functions within the core of the responsibility of developing school policy, maintaining financial stability, planning for the future, employing and supporting the evaluating school head. Indicators that the school meets the standard 2. The 2.1 is the board and the independent entity exercise functional independence to carry out the core responsibility of school governance. The 2.2, the development of the board develops and maintain regular reviews of the school bylaws. 2.3, the board develops and maintain annual procedure of the written expectation for the board, including the conflict of the interest, confidential policy. The policies are reviewed and are signed by all board manuals annually. The board demonstrates the understanding role of the governance for formulation of the school policies. The head of the school understands that his or her separate role of the responsibility of hiring, evaluating, leading all the administrative of the faculty and staff, implementing policy, overseeing the day-to-day operation of the school. 2.5, the board supports the ensure of the positive working relationship with the head of the school, evaluate his or her annual basis. 2.6, the board plans to participate in the board development, including effective recruitment over the orientation of the new members of continuing education for all members in a process of self-evaluation entire board. 2.7, the board's fiduciary oversight and stewardship to ensure the availability of the necessary financial official resources to support the mission provided with the optimum operation of the school. 2.8, the board supports oversee with the school fundraising initiatives. 2.9, the board maintains the comprehensive accurate records of the policy meeting, the committee meetings prior to the schools are exempt from indicators of 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3, 2.6, and 2.8. Alright, strategic long-term planning. Standard 3, the board of the governing body engages with long-range strategic thinking with the support of continuous growth of developing out of the school. Indicators the school meet the standard 3. The board develops and improves the clearly stated multiple-year strategic plan, strategic plan for the outline of the major goal for the school, improvement to establish strategic property for the school. The board monitors progress toward the strategic goals on the annual basis. The board develops 3.2. The board develops to improve the multiple-year financial plan with the support of the school's strategic plan, drive the development of the annual budget. 3.3. The process of the plan. Process in the place for the annual review of the strategic financial plan includes the review of the relevant data as well as the new strategic opportunities and challenges. 3.4. The board engages the succession planning for the change of the head of the board leadership rule for the order to provide stability and continuity for the school. Chapter 4. Standard consistent with the mission of the school plan manages the financial operation management for the promotion of the setting of stronger official health and stability while supporting personal program facilities and operations. Indicated the school meets the standard for the financial resources management of the school shall be sustained as an additional educational consistent with the school philosophy and mission, evidence for financial stability in form of the annual financial audit compliant with the governing accounting audit principles must be prepared by the independent certified public accountant. The school manages the resource with effective band for the advance of the mission with the civil safeguards within the asset of the future. Evidence affecting the management such as include these assets to liability ratio of 1.5 to 1 or higher. School is a comprehensive document, official budgeting policy, the procedure of the written annual operating budget that is reviewed, approved by the board of the governing board. The school multiple-year financial plans provide with the accumulation and unrestricted funds for the unforeseen financial need for the address the maintenance, the repair, and replacement of the facility. 4.5, all funds are under the control of the head of the school or the board. Advancement. Standard 5. The school engages with the fundraising, marketing, and other advancement activities congruent with the mission, philosophy, and strategic goals. Indicated that the school meets the standard 6 of July 1. The school has the comprehensive fundraising plan to meet both the annual and long-term funding needs for the school. 5.2. The school has a method of planning and effective at educating consistencies as about fundraising efforts of the school and financial readiness needs. The school will maintain the data of documentation, the effectiveness of the fundraising efforts, and strategy for the detailed data for the improve the overall fundraising programs. 5.4. The school promotes the cultural philanthropy of the key constituencies, including alumni, parents, grandparents, trustees, and other members of the community. 5.5. Marketing initiative that both internal and external support the mission and educational philosophy of the value for the school. Proprietary schools are expected to, for the indicator, exempt from the indicators 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, and 5.4. Alright, data research. Standard 6 for the school conducts the research to collect the data, effective methods of the resulting information and support school improvement efforts. The indicator school meets the standard 6. 6.1. The school utilizes the appropriate ongoing method to collecting data from the inform of the school improvement. The methods are regularly reviewed and assessed for the effectiveness. The school allocates resources, including time, staff, the budget, to pursue the data collection with the research initiative, the evidence for the use of this research, the data, and the operation of the school. 6.3. The school demonstrates understanding of the current research best practice for the ongoing improvement of the educational program of the school operations. 6.4. The school fully completes the annual survey provided with the benchmarking information as required by the Florida Council of the Independent Schools on annual basis. Standard 7, admissions. Mission. Standard 7. The school seeks the enrollment of the mission appropriate to the school for the consistent with the curriculum, culture, and the proper program with the clearly stated and admission financial assistance policies. Indicator school meets standard 7. The school is determined an optional enrollment that has established achievable enrollment targets for the next 3 to 5 years, which include the multiple year financial plan. The school has submission policies procedures to ensure the current feature of the consistent composition student abilities align with the mission of the school. The prospective families and students are provided with the information for the clearly communicates the school program. Typically caught the attendance for the school expectation for the students with their family. 7.4. The school provides sufficient resources in the personal and the funding effective to execute the mission program. 7.5. The awarding the financial assistance for the school communicates the mission appropriate with the transparent criteria, policies, and procedures for the consistencies. Constituents, the school maintains the confidential all of the expert the financial assistance process. 7.7. The school procedure for identifying the students who became no longer effective to serve the counsel for the student, his or her parents, in the search for the more suitable schooling option. Alright, early childhood program. Standards 8. The school is an early childhood program that reflects the mission with the philosophy of the school provides the development and the appropriate program safe environment for the young of the children. Indicators the school meets standard 8. Every early child board with the written philosophy regarding the care of the education of the young children with the mission and education philosophy of the school. 8.2. The direction of the school is the early childhood program must have the minimum of the bachelor's degree in international equivalent with accredited institution of the early childhood education of the related field. 8.3. The teacher of the 4-year and 5-year-olds must have the minimum bachelor's degree from an accredited institution in early childhood education related field. 8.4. All teachers of children from 8 months through PK3 must comply with one of the following requirements: a bachelor's degree, international equivalent with an institution with the evidence that qualified with the specified responsibly based on their education, training, and experience, and an associated arts degree in the early childhood education, child development, and a child development association, associate of the Florida Child Care Professional accredited, and children faculty member was hired with the August 2011. All classes must adhere to the following ratio. Group size for the mixed group. The ratios must maintain according with a young child in this class. 8 months to 23 months. Maximum child staff ratio 12 to 2. 2 years maximum child staff ratio 14 to 2. 3-year maximum child staff ratio 15 to 1. 4 years maximum child ratio of 20 to 1. 5 years maximum child staff ratio 20 to 1. One adult must be added as qualified lead teacher in the classroom with a student for 36 months and older. The aide must be available to assist the teacher with as needed in the classroom. The student for 35 months and younger and aide with an additional teacher must be present at all times. 8.6. Students in early childhood program must be under the adult supervision at all times. 8.7. The early childhood curriculum includes the core knowledge of the areas, including language and literacy, mathematical awareness, science, and the social studies, fine arts. The early childhood curriculum addresses the physical and tactical development of the age child, including lessons provided with the community opportunities students to develop both fine and gross motor skills. Or your academic program. Standard 9. The school curriculum of the programs consistent of the mission philosophy of the school actively regularly evaluates provided for the curriculum program to meet the evolving needs of the students. 9.1. The school of the curriculum consistent with the mission of the philosophy of the design to provide the development and appropriate learning opportunities experience to meet the intellectual, emotional, physical, and social needs of the student. of its student. The school maintains a curriculum guide with the updated with the annually available to call. The constitute classroom laboratories are finished with the equipment and provide the safe learning environment. The school provides instructional materials and equipment to support the effective teaching and appropriately aligned with the goals of the curriculum, sufficient with the quality, with the quantity, with the variety. The 8.3.9.3, the goals and improving the student learning of the faculty, addressing the need of the regular with the purpose of the instructional plan, evaluation of the educational program. 9.4, the school program is provided with the guidance authority for the understanding of diversity, multicultural inclusion of the in a manner that is aligned with the school mission. 9.5, the school provided with the evidence, thoughtful process for the respectful of this mission for the collection, the use of the academic data for the student learning outcomes. The process includes a regular review of the other the use of the standardized testing data, the uniform curriculum development, grade process report, grade and progress reports are distributed to parents and guidance for the regular intervals of opportunity provided with the parents and guardians to meet the faculty and staff to discuss the students' progress. The parent-teacher conferences are scheduled and documented at least once annually. The school media technology resource center that adequately staffed with the credential personnel, adequately funded support with the educational program to meet the needs for the student and faculty staff. The school has a minimum of the competencies for the use of integration technology for the faculty and staff. The school provides professional growth opportunity for the employee in their remaining current technology in schools and software applications. Alright, student life, standard 10, but the school supports the student learning and the well-being of the access to the council and the support level supports over this as well as programs encouraging student engagement, health, and wellness. 10.1, school provides an orientation program for all new students. The student provides an age appropriate for the council service to assist and support the student body. 10.3, this is the first teacher to identify and support student with learning deficiencies, differences in mission, appropriate to the resources available to identifying the meeting of the student learning and the needs. 10.4, the mission, appropriate clubs, and the extracurricular activities are offered to the student. The appropriate staff for the supervision resources are located for these activities. School programs. 10.5, the school program services and facilitates and encourages the adoption of healthy activities lifestyle. 10.6, the school assets of the student, faculty, student, staff, and the parents in understanding the physical, mental health issues and concerns. School acknowledgments of the intellectual, social, physical, aesthetics, and emotional need for the students. They are addressed with all the aspects of the curriculum and educational program. 10.8, athletic offerings are in line with the school mission, carefully planned with the executed that have the appropriate staff supervision resource for the activities. 10.9, the school provides the adequate supervised services for the college counseling placement with the career planning. 10.10, the policy training practices are in place to ensure the faculty and staff and the students work on a collaborative to build positive appropriate relationships. Standard 11, personnel. Standard 11, the school maintains a qualified faculty of the staff sufficient for the appropriate to execute the mission programs in operation. The faculty, staff, and administrators for the sufficient number to implement the fulfill education programs of the source of the head school must have the advanced degree with a bachelor's degree in the international equivalent of the education institution, accredited institution, several years of experience for the teaching and the administrative of the 11.3, but all teachers and administrators that have the minimum bachelor's degree for the accredited institution with the international equivalent. 11.4, the school demonstrates that all the faculty and administrative staff are qualified for the specific responsibility based on the education training of the professional experience. 11.5, auxiliary program staff that are appropriate qualified experience in the training but adhere to all the policies and procedures of the school. 11.6, school provides services with qualified technology personnel with the school's outsourced for the other supplemental technology functions. They must have the technology consistent with the possess for the technical certifications in the area with the contracted support with the all new facility faculty that are provided with the orientation outline with the school mission, education philosophy, the culture with the overview of the school policy and procedures. 11.8, school distributes clearly written with the personnel policies that are fair and transparent with the respect of the compensation workload for work conditioning. Employee handbooks require a signed acknowledgement of the receipt annually. 11.9, head of the school appropriate administrator evaluates the faculty and the staff through the defined process that consistently, clearly articulated, understood by all employees. 11.10, the school provides access for the professional development opportunities which fund the allocated annual budget. The evidence for the faculty and staff members consistently pursue the professional growth of opportunities. Alright, safe security and risk management. Standards 12, but the school promotes the safe health and security environment to safeguard school assessment with identify the risks, developing and executing policy procedure for the control to minimize loss of harm. The school has adequate and appropriate insurance for the transfer of liability and property for the casualty risk. 12.2, the school has written policy procedure for keeping the state and the federal laws that govern the maintenance for attention and use for accessibility with the past and present personnel, financial, corporate, legal, health and safety facilities and student records. All records are safeguarded with the loss of catastrophe and they identify the theft. 12.3, all full and part-time employees submitted to the background check or level 2 fingerprinting with it includes the driver's school with the vehicles and its auxiliary staff that includes those provided with the independent contractor support. Supplies. 12.4. The school has processes to plan to prevent the respond to child abuse, including the training of the director of the state, the mandated reporting requirements for the 12.5. Planned equipment of the facilities equipped with suited for the purpose of the adequate operation overall program of the school to maintain the operative in the manner of accessing the health and safety of the students, faculty, staff, and in compliance with all the federal, state, and local health and safety and sanitation codes and legislations. Vehicles are regularly inspected with the qualified personnel operative in accordance with all the applicable and including the federal, state, and local law regulations for safety inspection for the childhood safety restraints. 12.7. The safety sufficient financial, physical, human resources that are allocated to responsibly assure the safety and security protection of all of the members of the school committee, including all school sanctioned activities held on and off campus. 12.8. The healthcare program is appropriate to staff with the resource of the adequate means for the need for the student with sufficient space for the provided for the isolation of all the students. 12.9. The school has a written policy procedure for the handling illness, injury, as well as the reporting health and safety issue to the appropriate personnel when they applicable to parents and guardians. 12.10. Food services of staff and faculties meet all the federal, state, and local codes for the health standard for the food provided for the school food service promoted for the healthy code chief for the choice for the good nutrition. 12.11. The school has comprehensive written crisis for the security plan reviewed and updated the annual practice for clearly understand the faculty and staff, the students, and parents. The school has arrival and dismissal procedure to provide with the supervision and safety of the students. School comply with the federal regulation regarding the discrimination of employees and the fair safety and fair employment practices. Does not discriminate any other activities. Evidence of the compliance is available to all school constituents. International studies. International students. The school clearly understands the obligation to meet the need for the international students to provide with the adequate program and the appropriate training fund, faculty, and staff, the counseling, supporting housing development, the missing meaning of the cross-cultural relationship across the school community. 13.1. The school provides with the training of professional development and evaluation of faculty staff regarding the unique need for the international students. Schools and homestays program have cleared the written guidelines of the homestay students of the host families actively monitor the compliance with those of the guidelines to regularly review the effectiveness of the homestay program. The school program and the opportunity for the positive interaction both between domestic and international service in order to promote and inclusivity across cultural understanding. The school provides the mechanism which through the regular communication between the parents and the school occurs regularly regardless for the large language barrier for the cultural differences. When necessary, the school provides appropriate learning opportunity for the curriculum for the development each of the English fluency with alternative language and instruction. 13.6. Classroom testing methods effectively provided with the students with whom the English and or alternative language instruction and the non-first language they faculty receive training, professional development regarding the curriculum, instruction, delivery, and the non-native English speaker. Alright, domestic and international travel. Domestic and international travel is mission appropriate, well planned with a clear expectation of the execution of behavior. 14.1. The purpose of student travel is in alignment with the school mission. 14.2. The school travel is carefully planned with minimized interference with the school academic schedules, requirements, and responsibility. 14.3. The domestic and international related trip, having the trip the sponsor for the overall accountability for the development and implementation of the event and activity. The trip sponsor is the faculty, staff members responsible for handling the logistics of the trip, of the collection of the required information, participation, overseeing the health and safety of the students, designating the trip, and the chaperones of conducting the following of the activities. 14.4. The school has written policy procedures governing domestic and international travel, including the emergency procedure for the chaperone responsibility expectation for the student's behavior. Alright, resident life. Standard 15 of the school residential life development program, the mission in line with the purpose of the plan with the resources and staff that provide with the safe and enrich the experience for all of the boarding students. School has written, regularly reviewed, evaluated residential life with the curriculum with the defined goals, objectives, and consistent with the school mission philosophy of this residential program. This part of the overall program of the school. The school will promote the nurture of the relations between the residential and the day-to-day students. Residential program has the current sufficiency of 24-hour per day adult supervision. Residential facility faculty staff with qualified training to meet the needs of the student under the supervision are capable of serving the local parentis. Residential faculty staff receive the regular professional development and training regarding the topics applicable to the supervision and development of the students within the care of the based on the implicit set of the values, goals of the boarding of the student program. Even in weekend, if applicable, the vacation offerings are purposely planned with the plan and supervised to meet the boarding students and integrated with the overall residential life of the curriculum. School has clearly defined written policies concerning the residential life of the leave, the privileges, proper behavioral expectation for the district and expense for the student, faculty, staff, and parents of the guardians. Residential faculty is adequate, supervised, well maintained, appropriate to meet the needs for the students in the residential program. The school has a system to provide the needs of the residential students, receiving the financial assistance with regard to the transportation codes and the costs associated with the activities outside of the school within one day. Alright, proprietary schools. Proprietary schools ensure the effective leadership, the clearly organized training, the structure of the necessary resources to successfully execute the mission of the school. 16.1. The owner of the governing of the body of the established to maintain power for the making of the process of the provision and participation of all stakeholders are appropriate. The school establishes the following policies applicable to the ownership of the direct the conflicts of interest to provide protection against malefficiency by the person that exercises the control over the school. The clear organizational chart defines the roles, responsibility of the school owner, governing body with the administration, faculty, and staff. One person is designated the chief administrator, head principal, and president, etc. of the school. The person may be the owner, the designated the chief administrator is evaluated on an annual basis. Our special education standard is 17. The school serves the defined student population consistent with the mission and provided with the appropriate curricular and behavioral educational support for all the students of the program. 17.1. The school specifies the curricular criteria for the admission into the special education program. 17.2. The school maintains a record for each of the students enrolled in the special education program. The record includes evaluation to identify the specific needs of the students, strength of the need of the program, component of the comprehensive program plan devised to meet the identify the need with a clearly specified group of goals and objects. The documentation review the vision of the program plan, goals, objective consideration, student program, the documentation record, the access of individuals. 7.3. The program is written comprehensive curriculum for the address all the other programs, the specific area for the instruction training. The curriculum identify the master goals, the objective, the minimum standard for each of the course of the instruction with each for the grade for the development level, including with the appropriate personnel of the school, behavior of the life of the management, career, independence. In the program to enroll the high school students when appropriate with the curriculum options exist for the provided opportunities to students accrue with the credits toward the graduation. 17.5. Behavioral support system is employed with the program consistent with the school's mission, philosophy, and the goals. The system allows the flexibility to respond to the initiative. Individual students need to understand the consistency with implemented to all of the faculty and staff. 17.6. School has a system in place for the evaluation standard and evaluation individuals, providing additional educational supporting services such as occupational therapists, psychological therapists, special therapists, verification of licensure, continuing professional development, accountability for the delivery of service alignment for the school's mission, and educational philosophy, policies, and procedures should be included with in this assessment. Alright, online and blending and learning. The school online and blending and learning offerings integrated with the school overall program provided with a high quality, rigorous mission appropriate with learning opportunities for the students. 18.1. Online courses for the instruction offered by the school are mission appropriate and comparable to the academic rigor of the course taught face-to-face on purpose. On courses and instruction offered to the school are either developed and executed by the school or accredited with the recognized agency. The school does not identify themselves with instruction to teach courses entirely or primarily through the online method of the virtual school. Clear communicated with students and parents with the course of the topic exclusively online. In any circumstance where the student spends more than 25% of his academic day taking online courses not delivered by the school, not developed or delivered by the school must clearly explain, justify its choice in instructional method of delivery. The school plans developing, sustaining, and expanding with online opportunities integrated with the school-wide curriculum planning. 18.16. Applicable school policy, the academic integrity of the appropriate youth at the school, specifically the reference to online learning. 8.7. The faculty member teaching online blending of the courses receive adequate training with professional development opportunity for the delivery and the use of the online blending of learning will include the strategy to promote the academic integrity of the appropriate youth. The 18.8. The online blending of learning of the programs regularly evaluated with the effectiveness of the school results of these evaluations in order to enhance and improve its offering. And 221 is one that was once again we have just finished Florida Council of the Independent School Standard of Accreditation effective January 1st, 2017.